Welcome back to this channel where we provide premium legal content. Today in this video, we'll be continuing from where we stopped in the series of the videos that I've been doing on some important aspects in our criminal jurisprudence. Last time, we looked at issues that relate to a child as well as the historical background to, the Child's Right Act. We said the Child's Right Act is a culmination of several advocacies and series of struggles, and eventually in 2003, the Child's Right Act was passed. And the Child's Right Act is like the grand norm, the mother of all laws that protects children in Nigeria. And the video before that, we looked at the likely decision of the courts when it comes to a finding that at the time it wants to convict a defendant, that defendant at that time is pregnant. What would the court determine? Would the court proceed to convict that pregnant woman or wait for the woman to be delivered of her baby? Perhaps you need to go back to these videos and watch them so that you can get a better feel of what the likely decision of the court will be. But today we want to answer two questions. The number one question we want to answer is, who is a child under Nigerian law? And secondly, what is the age of criminal responsibility in Nigeria? And let's delve into it. But before we delve into it, it's important that we remind you that this channel needs to grow. This channel can grow, and you can support the growth of this channel by subscribing to this channel and clicking on the notification button when you do so that you can continue to receive premium legal content that drops on this channel. With that said, let's look at who is a child under Nigerian law. Section 277 of the Child's Right Act, passed in 2003, defines a child as someone who is below the age of 18. So if someone is above 18 years, that person is no longer a child. And perhaps the Child's Right Act took a leave from the 1999 Constitution, which under Section 27 defines an adult. Well, you might say not specifically an adult, because that particular section did not use the word adult. It uses the word full age. So a person of full age is someone who is above the age of 18, which you can term as an adult. Another interesting thing you should also know about Section 29 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, is the fact that a woman who is married is regarded as a person of full age, no matter the age of that woman. So that's something you should also note. Now, with that said, let's also look at other legislation that deals with the definition of who a child is. Under the Criminal Procedure Act, you see that a child, there are several definitions of a child. If you look at that particular provision, an infant is defined as somebody who is below the age of 7. A child is someone who is below the age of 14. A young adult is somebody who is above 14 but not up to 17, and 17 upwards as a juvenile. So you have all those several definitions of a child under these particular provisions of the law. Now, with that said, let's move to answering the second question as to what is the age of criminal responsibility in Nigeria, because the age of criminal responsibility will determine the likely punishment, the likely sentence that the court will give when it finds out that this person, is in this age category or in that age category. Now, under the Criminal Code, Section 30, it provides that a person who is below the age of 7 is not criminally responsible for any act or omission. However, if that person, either a male or a female child, who is 7 years upwards but not up to 12 years, that person as well is not criminally responsible for any act or omission, unless the prosecution or the other party is able to show that at the time of the commission of the offense, the child ought to know that what he or she was doing was wrong. So the onus is on the prosecution to prove that the child understood or knew that what he or she was doing was actually wrong. And then 12 years upwards, of course, that child would be criminally responsible if the court finds that the child was, criminally responsible for the commission or omission of a particular act. Something you should also note is that children, they are not tried at the regular court. The trial would usually take place at the juvenile court. And another thing you should also notice that, however, if it involves a criminal offense that has to do with murder, the trial would usually take place at a higher court, which is, the High Court because a murder charge has been preferred against that child. Importantly, the same section 30 of the Criminal Code provides that a person is not criminally responsible, meaning a child, a male child, cannot, is deemed or presumed not to be capable of, having carnal knowledge. Do you agree with that presumption that a child or a person who is below 12 years is incapable of having carnal knowledge? If you agree with that, well, but if you don't agree, how do you rebut that particular presumption under the law? Is that presumption even rebuttable? If it is rebuttable, how do you go about rebutting it? That is what you should send into the comment section of this particular video. And note that in our next video, we'll be looking at this particular issue and more. So stick around to watch the next video.